Hi, everyone. It's great to be with you on today's episode of This Is the Day.
And it's great to be with you, Bonnie.
It's great to be with you.
This is something new.
It is.
And it's going to be a great show because Paul Hartmann joins us today to talk about a wonderful documentary that we're going to be airing in January and February right here on the Catholic TV network. It's called Chiara Badano, A Teen's Life and Beatification. Incredibly inspiring.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful
Absolutely
documentary.
beautiful. And also, very exciting, Rockapella are with us today to bring some little Christmas cheer to the Catholic TV living room. So don't go away. This Is the Day begins right now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. And we're so excited about this show. We have Paul Hartmann with us. We have Rockapella. And this is an early Christmas present for me because this is my first time hosting with you, Father Reed. I am so excited.
It's happened before. You know, you've been with Jay, you've been with Kevin, and I've watched from afar, but I've never had the chance to do this.
Yeah, so this is a real treat. So it's an early Christmas present for me.
So funny, I got to tell you, as we were preparing to begin the show, I said, okay, now, we're going to be chatting about this, that, and the other thing for 5 minutes. And so Bonnie looked at me and she said, well, I'll talk for 5 minutes. When are you going to talk?
That's the truth. They are blessed with the Irish gift of gab.
There you are.
Share all my great stories here.
It's also a first, too, because in my recollection, and my memory doesn't always serve me well, but I don't think we've ever had a live musical act on This Is the Day. Am I correct in saying that?
I think you're pretty correct there. We did have one of the brothers from Connecticut who did some beatboxing right here on the couch.
That's true. Okay. So
But,
technically speaking, I guess it's not, but realistically
not a live
speaking.
group. Yeah, realistically, you are correct.
Now, how did we ever come across and have the chance to have Rockapella come here? I mean, because they've been on The Tonight Show, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they
How
are
did this
very
all happen?
popular. You know, Shannon, our PR person here, she's just delightful. Her good friend Carly does PR for the group.
Okay.
And so they connected because Rockapella's in town performing with the Boston Pops. This is their first time doing the holiday tour with the Boston Pops, so it's very exciting. And so they're going to be in the area, and they've certainly been on some of the network affiliates, and of course now their favorite, Catholic TV.
Absolutely. And they had a little warm-up beforehand, and you are in for a treat, I'm telling you. This is the way to gear up for Christmas. And, of course, this Sunday is the fourth Sunday of Advent.
Can you believe it? It's
What
amazing.
What happened to Advent?
Yeah. Are you finished your shopping?
Well, I almost. I did a kind of, in 15 minutes the other night, I took care of 5 people online. I got them all the same thing.
That's a record.
Yeah, and I tell you what I bought them, but some of them might be watching.
It's got to be secret.
And that would be terrible. But it's all being gift wrapped and sent via FedEx or something like that. So how about you?
No.
No.
No, I'm still in Advent mode. I like to be in Advent mode.
Okay.
I use that as my excuse to
wait till the 23rd.
do nothing.
You know who I have to get something for is someone beloved by the Catholic TV family, all those who watch Catholic TV, Father Dan. I live with Father Dan O'Connell. As you know, he's my pastor. And so I have to find something for Father Dan.
That's a tough one.
Maybe a sweater.
A sweater, because he doesn't have any of those.
That would be very unoriginal, though.
Yeah. But he would love that.
I'll come
he
up
would
with
love
something.
that.
And listen, this documentary, which you're going to see in January and February, and Paul Hartmann is here to talk to us about it from the Focolare movement. I was really honest in the beginning when I said it is incredibly inspiring. I remember the first time that I saw it, I couldn't get up from the chair. I was just so taken by the message, the life, the witness of this young woman, Chiara Luce. And I learned something from Paul, talking to him before the show. I thought Chiara Badano is her name, Blessed Chiara Badano, because she's been beatified and hopefully canonized someday soon. But Chiara Luce is what her friends and family called her. And I thought that was just a nickname. But when you're a part of the Focolare movement, the foundress, Chiara Lubick, would give a name to the members. Like, for example, Paul told me his given name is Ray. I presume it's like a ray from the sun, you know, light.
Absolutely,
But
yeah.
Chiara Luce in Italian meaning light. What a beautiful
Right.
name to be given to this girl. And it was like a light dawning on Marblehead when I watched this documentary. People are going to love
Yeah,
it.
it's simply beautiful. What powerful witness this young woman was, and continues to be, you know, for all of our lives. And the documentary is simply beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great production. We're blessed from the great folks from the Focolare movement and New City Press that they shared it with us here at Catholic TV.
We are blessed. And it goes to show you, and it's a reminder to me, that you don't have to be 50, 60, 80 to be a sign, a witness of the presence of Jesus Christ in our world for whom we wait these Advent days, because she did it so effectively, even from her hospital bed, the bed in her room when she was dying of this very aggressive bone cancer. She was such an incredible witness of her firm belief in the presence of Jesus in her life and the hope of eternal life, you know. So
Amazing story. So viewers will be delighted to see that. It'll have some new air dates in January.
yeah, in fact, I think it's the week of January 2nd, Friday of that week at 9:30 p.m. will be the premiere. But right now, we're going to go over to the news desk because your friend and mine, Mr. Kevin Nelson, has some interesting little tidbits of news to tell us about the Catholic world. Kevin, what's going on around the Catholic world right now?
Jay and Father Reed, and hello everyone. It is time to take a look at the news, and we begin from the Vatican. Pope Benedict XVI held his weekly general audience and continued his discussion on prayer. Catholic News Service's Carol Glatz takes us to Rome for more on the audience.
The Vatican's Paul VI audience hall was decorated with a traditional Mexican nativity scene featuring large ceramic figures handcrafted by artisans. The Pope dedicated today's audience talk to prayer and said when people pray, it can't just be a list of what you want or need, but must include praise and thanks for what God has already done. People shouldn't expect their prayers to be immediately answered either, he said, because God could have a much different plan in mind. The Pope said prayer demands succumbing to God's will and listening to Him, and being thankful for His love, His presence, and mercy.
In other news from the Vatican, Pope Benedict XVI has made Aid to the Church in Need a pontifical foundation. He signed off on the transition in early December. He also appointed Cardinal Mauro Piacenza, prefect of the Congregation for the Clergy, to be president of the foundation. Aid to the Church in Need, or ACN, was founded in 1947 to help Christians suffering religious oppression and persecution. It boasts 17 international offices in Europe, North and South America, and Australia, and more than 600,000 ACN members worldwide support 5,000 aid projects every year in more than 130 different countries. Their international headquarters will remain in Königstein, Germany, but with the change in status, the official seat of the foundation will be at the Vatican. John Pontifex, head of the press and information for the ACN office in the UK, said the Pope's decision to elevate ACN to a pontifical foundation is a sign of the significance that the Holy Father attaches to the work of the charity. Pontifex said the decision serves to strengthen and intensify the close relationship ACN and the Holy See have always shared. At the same time, he said the mission of the charity remains unchanged and the organization's focus will continue to be on serving Christians in need. In news now from around the country, Holy Childhood Association held its annual Christmas artwork contest. Each year, thousands of children submit their vision of what Christmas is about to the organization, but only a select few are given the opportunity to display their work. Emily Thompson of Catholic News Service takes us to Washington's Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception with more on the contest and the Christmas exhibit.
23 works of art selected as winners of the Holy Childhood Association's Christmas Artwork Contest are on display in the Crypt Church of Washington's Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. More than 10,000 entries are received annually for the contest, open to students in kindergarten through the 8th grade in Catholic schools, parish religious education programs, and homeschools.
When I found out I first won, I didn't realize it was such a big deal.
The children, including grand prize winner Chelsea Mariano, used crayons, paints, pastels, and colored pencils to illustrate what various aspects of the Christmas season look like to them.
So I was very excited because I could actually express what I feel about the angel Gabriel being an important part of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Joseph probably felt happy for Mary too. He was probably also happy that Mary was happy.
A Mass was celebrated in their honor, and each child received a plaque to commemorate the occasion. In addition, each piece is featured as an e-greeting on the Holy Childhood Association's website.
I just wanted to say it's such an honor to be here and earn a spot in this with all these amazingly talented artists who won this.
The Gallery of Winning Art will be on display at the National Shrine through the Epiphany. In Washington, this is Emily Thompson for Catholic News Service.
And finally in the news, a complaint against the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis has been dismissed by Minnesota's Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board. The complaint, filed by Minneapolis attorney Kurt Anderson, stemmed from a DVD on marriage mailed to 400,000 Catholics in the state by the Archdiocese in September of 2010. Anderson argued that the mailing constituted a lobbying effort by the Archdiocese and therefore triggered certain registration and reporting requirements under Minnesota campaign law. But the board released a 12-page decision saying there is no probable cause that the Archdiocese should have been required to register a political fund or as a lobbyist. In his complaint, Anderson had contended that the DVD campaign, which took place about 6 weeks before elections for the Minnesota legislature, was a lobbying effort aimed at persuading legislators to place a constitutional amendment defining marriage on the state ballot. In the DVD, Archbishop John Neinstead of St. Paul and Minneapolis called on the legislature to allow voters to consider a constitutional amendment to preserving the tradition of marriage. In its ruling, the Campaign Finance Board said it was a reasonable interpretation that the Archdiocese's purpose was to remind Catholics of the importance the Archdiocese places on the need for a constitutional amendment so that voters would consider the Archdiocese's position on the issue of the legal definition of marriage when they decide for whom to vote. Well, that is all the news we have for you on this Friday, December 16, 2011.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. And, you know, also in the news today is sad, but actually glorious in a way, the funeral of a dear friend of ours and all those who work in communication in the church, John Cardinal Foley, who will be buried at a Mass at the Cathedral Basilica in Philadelphia today. And we're going to be carrying that live at 2 o'clock. I have the privilege of providing commentary for that again at 8 o'clock this evening on Friday. And also, I know that Salt and Light, among others, is also carrying that Mass live. And we're very grateful to the people in Philadelphia, Bonnie, right?
They've been tremendous. Donna Farrell and Jocelyn Martinez have been just great to work with. And it's really hard to organize, you know, a funeral of this magnitude.
Sure.
People are coming from all over. And actually, Father Tom Rosica will be celebrating at that Mass from
very
Salt
good,
and
yeah.
Light. And so we're really honored. Cardinal Foley was just a delightful man, the voice. We will miss
The
him.
voice of Christmas Eve at the Vatican,
That's
sure.
right.
And we'll be saying goodbye to him and commending him into God's care today. 2 o'clock right here on the Catholic TV network. Joining us now is Paul Hartmann to tell us about the Focolare movement and also a beautiful young woman, beatified now, Chiara Luce. Paul, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's great. It's great to have you, and it's great to be able to have a chance to talk not just about Chiara, but also more in general about the Focolare movement. Could you just tell us and tell our viewers, what is the Focolare movement? Because I know you know it well.
Oh, I'm very happy to share about it too. The Focolare is an ecclesial movement that was born in the heart of the Catholic Church during World War II. So the young woman, Chiara Lubick, at the age of 23, with some friends of hers, discovered that God is love in the midst of the war, which is unthinkable to most people. But they found that they could live God love by loving the neighbor next to them. And this really exploded. People around them wanted to live like them, and now it's a Catholic movement that's in over 100 countries around the world, and everybody's trying to live according to the tenets of the gospel.
It's an amazing story that out of such a time of despair, that this awareness of God is love emerged. And here you are, you're a young student, you're at BU, you're studying. Mm-hmm. What is your mission as part of the Focolare movement?
Well, they found the mission came from the last testament of Jesus, that may they all be one. That Jesus died on the cross really to bring unity to the world, and that through our love of neighbor, we can be a part of that. And to love your neighbor to a point where they feel they have to meet that love with their own love. So it becomes a mutual experience that can spread everywhere.
So beautiful.
No.
And it was, speaking of divine love, it was in the Church of Our Lady of Divine Love in Rome back in 2010 that Chiara Badano was beatified. And we look forward to the day when hopefully she will be a saint for us. And she's a tremendous example. What is it that so attracts people, so attracted me when I saw this documentary, to the life of Chiara Luce?
Well, she's the image of the modern saint, especially for youth. And Pope Benedict XVI said this, that she is a model for us as youth. Because she wasn't a martyr, she didn't start a big movement, she just lived the gospel. And through that, she affected everyone around her. I mean, she loved music, she was a normal teenager, you know, she was an average student, but in the face of grave difficulty, you know, like you mentioned earlier in the program, she was diagnosed with bone cancer, you know, and initially it was a very difficult choice, but she made the choice to say yes to God love, and that meant loving the people around her. And once she did that, everything else was seen in that light. You know, the pain of the 3 years of her treatment was all, if God wants this, I want it too. You know, that was her mantra, and to be able to do that in such difficult circumstances is an example for all of us.
Sure. And for her family, too, it had to be a very difficult time. The movie, of course, very beautiful, the documentary, and we're so grateful that New City Press has shared with us. Where can people learn more about the movement and about obtaining a copy of the documentary, and just more about the work that you do and spreading the light of God's message?
Well, the easiest thing is online, www.focolare.us. But as you mentioned, New City Press shared the documentary with you and would love to share it with everyone else. So you can find it through New City Press, and also just we have our magazine Living City as well, which is really a wonderful tool for those of us in the Focolare and for others to learn about what we're doing and for us to share the experience of our lives.
It's a great thing.
Now, have you done your Christmas shopping?
No, still working on it.
See that? You're not alone, Bonnie.
Thank
That's because
goodness.
we like to celebrate Advent, right? In its fullness.
I'm an Advent person. I love Advent.
Yes.
We have a Christmas gift for the entire Catholic TV audience today, for all of you. And this is something, as we were saying before, that has, I don't think really, in a sense, has never happened, I guess realistically, on This Is the Day Live. Their names are Scott, Jeff, George, John, and Stephen, and they are known as Rockapella. That comes from rock, the style of music you're going to hear, and a cappella, meaning without instruments, just the instruments of their God-given voices. So I have the privilege to introduce to you and to give you this very beautiful Christmas gift from all of us to you, ladies and gentlemen, Scott, Jeff, George, John, and Stephen Rockapella.
Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. What a beautiful sight. We're having a night, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is a bluebird. Here to stay is a new bird. It sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. Hey, and there we could build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. We'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job while you're in town. And later on, we'll conspire as we drink by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made. We're walking in a winter wonder. Over the ground lies a mantle of white. Heaven and diamonds shine down through the night. The two hearts are thrilling in spite of the chill in the weather. The weather, the weather, the weather. Love knows no season, love knows no clime. Romance can blossom at any old time. Here in the open, we're walking and hoping together, 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 together. Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? In the lane, going to have a beautiful sight. We're having a night, walking in the winter wonderland. Hey, hey, the better with the little snowman, and pretend that he is Parson Brown. We'll say, are you married? We'll say, yes. But you can do the job while you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we by the fire, baby. Face unafraid, the plans that we made. We're walking in a winter wonderland. Hey, we're walking in a winter wonderland. Hey, we're walking in a winter wonderland.
Yay! That was just wonderful. Weren't they delightful?
Unbelievable. I
Kept
mean,
your foot tapping.
You know, I wonder, yeah, if people are wondering where they can learn more about Rockapella, I know where they can find
You
out.
do?
Oh, yeah.
Share that gift.
Rockapella.com.
Oh, that's pretty easy, huh?
You know, it's really simple, yeah.
I was even there. Great videos on there. They had a little blurb there for Catholic TV. They were enjoying some snacks when they were doing their Boston Pops show, and mentioned Catholic TV. So Helen got that right on Facebook, so it's just great.
Very good. Speaking of Catholic TV, you know, we have the Catholic TV Monthly. This is our monthly magazine that we send out to you and to anyone else who would like it. It's also available digitally online. And this month's edition, of course, naturally, is about Advent and Christmas programming on the Catholic TV network. And, of course, as we draw closer to Christmas, we're going to have more and more Christmas programming. So that's the address where you can receive it if you don't receive it at this point. And we would love to send it out to you, not just this month, but every month thereafter. Catholic TV, 34 Chestnut Street. Actually, more importantly, P.O. Box 9196, Watertown, Massachusetts, 02471. Or you can go online, right, at CatholicTV.com and just click on magazine. You can subscribe there. And, of course, it's free.
That's right.
And
Genevieve will add you right to the list. Right. And how many things are free? We have lots of things free at Catholic TV.
We have tons of things free. Here,
Absolutely.
yeah, and
We're just
grace.
gift givers.
God's grace is free to us. This is the amazing thing. Which reminds me, you know, in a lot of parishes, in a lot of dioceses, particularly here where we live in the Archdiocese of Boston, special times to celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation, to go to confession. And I'm thinking here in our own local area, at all the parishes, the churches throughout the Archdiocese of Boston, next Wednesday, the 21st, from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, you can go to confession.
Right.
And what a better way, I can't think of a better way to prepare yourself for the coming of the Savior.
Free gift of God's grace of healing.
Yeah,
It's
all
wonderful.
kinds of
on the 21st.
all kinds of free stuff. Now, I got to ask you, Bonnie, and I know it's still Advent, but what are you doing for Christmas this year? Because I might not have a chance to ask you on air.
Yeah, we're doing lots of fun things for Christmas. We're very excited. We get together with the family up the street. Our kids have grown up together. We're very excited because a new baby is in the mix. He'll be playing Jesus at our Welcome the Child Advent presentation in St. Eulalia Parish. So Peter John has joined us. So there'll be about 35 of us celebrating and cooking
big crew.
and getting wild. All the young adult kids, everybody will be home. So I'm excited.
I'm going up to my nieces. Do
great.
you want to know?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go up to my nieces, and also my brother-in-law is going to be there, and they have 2 little kids. So I've already bought those gifts as well.
Those are the fun gifts to buy, aren't they?
Yeah, and I can't say it because they might be watching.
Yeah.
And that would spoil Christmas, you know. But of course, there's always Santa Claus. I think
right.
Santa Claus is going to be visiting that house.
Big time, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
He better be visiting my house for Mom.
Yeah. And so we have, more music from Rockapella, and because we would not want to just let the show go without letting you hear more of this wonderful group. I want to remind you, you can find out more about Rockapella at, very simple, rockapella.com. And you can watch some video and you can hear them perform even more, but only right here on the Catholic TV network can you hear them perform live. So let's go over to the performance studio right now with more of Rockapella and some Christmas cheer.
I just came back from a lovely trip along the Milky Way. I stopped off at the North Pole to spend a holiday. I called on dear old Santa Claus to see what I could see.
What up, Santa?
He took me to his workshop and told his plans to me. So You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Get the picture. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Hey baby, Santa is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or bad. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town.
Now Santa is a busy man, he has no time to play. Now he's got millions of stockings to fill on Christmas Day.
You better write your letter now and mail it right away, because he's getting ready, his reindeer and his sleigh.
With the little tin horns and little toy drums, Rudy toot toot and a run it tum tum. Santa Claus is coming to town. Some of the beaters and the beater good night.
Curly head dog, a cuddly coon, elephant bolt and kitty cars too. Santa Claus is coming to every boy and girl. Kids in girl and boy land, they'll have a jubilee. They're gonna build a toyland all around the Christmas tree. So you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's coming. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town.
Now Santa is a busy man, he has no time to blame. She has many of stockings to fill on Christmas Day.
Yeah, you better write your letter now and mail it right away, because he's getting ready, his reindeer and his sleigh.
With the little tin horns and little toy drums, Rudy toot toot and a run it tum tum. Santa Claus is coming to town. Bum 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 bum.
Curly head dogs and a cuddly coon, elephants, bolts, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming to every boy and girl. Kids in girl and boy land, they will have a jubilee. They're gonna build a toyland all around the Christmas tree. So you better watch out. You better not pout. You better not pout. I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming to town. He's coming. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's coming.